guys, what's up? It's AppleCritics from AppleCritics.com. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the Apple TV 4th Gen in 2020 and showing everything that it has to offer and just basically taking a closer look at this premium Apple device. So that is what we're going to do in this video. So this particular Apple TV has been around since 2015, and the newer Apple TV was released in 2017, and that new model is the 4K, but this one is the 4th generation, and with the 4th generation, you can only stream up to 1080p, and with the 4K model, you can obviously stream all the way up to 4K. Now, the Apple TV has the A8 chip in it, so it's the same chip as the iPhone 6, and the Apple TV 4K has the A8 Fusion chip, which is the same as the iPhone 7. So this particular Apple TV is priced at $149 on Amazon, and the Apple TV 4K model is priced at $179. So you can see that they have two similar prices, and this particular Apple TV has been around for a good 5 years. So Apple TV actually comes with its own operating system that goes by the name of tvOS, so it's not based off of iOS or anything. Apple made specific software for this particular Apple TV, and it has been getting a lot of updates. So when you try different streaming boxes, such as Roku and Chromecast, those operating systems are decent, but nothing compared to tvOS. tvOS is a full operating system. The UI is simply magnificent. It blew me away, and it still is the same as the 4K model, so you can't tell the UI difference between these two models. So it's just the same layout, but just with this model, it shows 1080p, and the 1080p is still pretty fine. But the 4th generation model only streams in 1080p, which is decent, but it would be nice to have the ability to stream to 4K as well. But that's why there is the 4K model available. Now, the S20 Samsung phone can shoot 8K, and Samsung has many displays that have 8K in it. So 1080p in today's standards is decent, and in 2015 it probably seemed groundbreaking. But as the Apple TV 4th generation has aged, 1080p is not that spectacular as it once was. So looking at the Apple TV remote, it actually does look pretty good. You can see it's all black, and the older version of the remote for the 4th generation Apple TV is all silver and has a iPod-like wheel in the middle, but we have like a glossy part here, and then at the top is where it actually has a click. So you could hear when you click it. And there is the voice to text button right here. And then you have the menu and then the OK button. You have the volume and the play and pause. So the remote is pretty simple. Apple logo on the back as well. So it does get the job done, and it complements the color of the Apple TV very well. Now, taking a closer look at the back of the Apple TV, you can see that we have the AC adapter right here. Then we have the USB-C connection, followed by the HDMI for your TV. And then you have the Ethernet cable right here as well. So you can see that all the bases are pretty much covered, and when it had the USB-C in 2015, that was probably one of the exclusive Apple devices that had that USB-C connection, and maybe a MacBook Pro had that USB-C Thunderbolt connection at that point. Now, it's also good that they included the Ethernet cable if you want to have the direct connection, but once again, it still can connect through Wi-Fi. So Ethernet is if you want that stable connection and just direct to your Apple TV. Now we can take a closer look at the Apple TV and the reason why you're watching this video. So that would definitely have to be the overall streaming capabilities of it. So the main apps that Apple TV has is the Apple TV Plus app, which is basically their own streaming system and their competitor to Netflix, which is unfair to say, but eventually Apple will build up all the content and exclusive streams of particular movies and TV shows. But that is their Netflix competitor that they're slowly but surely building up. And then you have the Apple Arcade app as well. So this is the Apple Arcade app. So the Apple Arcade gives you unlimited access to 100 plus ad-free games. So you can go ahead and make an account, and it just gives you that ability to use your Apple TV as a gaming console, as Apple is pushing towards that. So you can see that Apple is turning into a streaming services company, and that is the main usability of the Apple TV. It also does have Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu. So if you don't have a smart TV, that is when the Apple TV will come in handy, especially because is that it's mostly for those TVs that are older and no longer have those streaming capabilities and don't have a updated smart TV. That's when the Apple TV will come in handy. And it did serve a purpose for the time being, but then people can actually just go ahead and buy a new TV and the smart TV will be updated. And then it kind of ruins the use of the Apple TV. So this is just mainly for people who just don't want to be on their computers watching all the Apple content and they just want to use their Apple TV so that they can broadcast it to their TV. So that is when it makes the most sense. Now, interestingly enough, Apple did bring the Apple TV Plus app, so their own Netflix competitor, and the Apple Music app to all Samsung devices that came from 2018 or later. So if you have a 2018 Samsung TV or later, you'll be able to get Apple Music, and you'll also be able to get the Apple TV Plus app. So that's very interesting that Apple is moving towards that way. Now, another reason for this streaming box would be the AirPlay functionality. So you can just basically AirPlay a video from your iPhone onto the Apple TV. So here is a AirPlay video that I'm currently filming for my YouTube channel, AppleCritics. Go ahead and subscribe. So here's a video that I just filmed so I can go ahead and stream it onto the Apple TV. So you can see I could just tap on the photo and then press on options, then I have the AirPlay option right here. So now what we can do is just press the Apple TV button to just AirPlay it from my iPhone to the Apple TV just in one easy one-click button. So now I can see that I'm playing the video and it's moving around and it's just basically showing my setup. And you can see this is from my iPhone 11 Pro. So that is just proof that the AirPlay feature does work. And now I'm just back to my Apple TV just like that. So it's just that simple. And it's really easy to use it, most importantly. So it just has that convenience aspect to it. So you just use the AirPlay button and then just stream it and then it'll just go directly to your TV. In a business sense, the use case could be if you want to stream a presentation in a boardroom or in a board meeting kind of setup, that's when it would be really good. But it doesn't make sense if you already have the smart TV capabilities. But if you just want to specifically have a lot of iPhones in a big enterprise company and you just want to be able to stream to AirPlay, then that'd be really good. And you can also AirPlay your music as well. And anything you can AirPlay normally from your iPhone to a speaker, you can now do it with the Apple TV. So it's just that easy. Another limitation is that the Apple TV is only 32 gigabytes for the 4th gen, and for the 4K model of the Apple TV, it's 64 gigabytes. So that is just a large limitation. That is only 32 gigabytes for the 4th generation model and 64 gigabytes for the 4K model. So you can see Apple can improve on that. But then again, you aren't really downloading stuff onto your Apple TV. You're just using it to stream content, not download and store content. It's more of a wireless device. So that is the main purpose. But for Apple Arcade, you actually do end up downloading games onto your Apple TV. So that is just a little bit of an issue. The Apple Arcade games actually do take up some storage and you don't necessarily want to run out of space. So that's one thing that you don't want to do. So the overall UI and layout is just very sleek, very clean and to the point and very Apple-like. It's very refined, I must say. Now, the only thing missing with the Apple TV 4th generation is that 4K compatibility, I would say. It's really good that you can play some games with Asphalt 8. So that is some good usability for the Apple TV and makes the purchase of $149 worth it. So in conclusion, should you buy the Apple TV 4th generation? Well, I would say yes, you should. If you don't already have the smart TV capabilities that include YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, and all the other streaming services. But if you already do have access to that, then I wouldn't say the Apple TV is worth it. The Apple TV would be worth it if you have an older TV such as this one. This is an old Panasonic TV from about 2009 or 2010. So that doesn't have any smart TV capabilities at all, like a Samsung or Sony TV would. So that's why this Apple TV is very much so worth it. So you're also probably wondering, should you get the 4K model one instead? That came out in 2017 and it's only 3 years old compared to the 5-year-old Apple TV 4th generation. Well, I would say go ahead and get the 4K latest version since it's only $30 more. So $179 for 4K version and $149 for the 4th generation version. So that's an easy choice. So I would say just get the Apple TV, get the 4K version. That's my strong recommendation. And that version will last longer than the 4th generation. So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, go ahead and comment down below. I'll go ahead and respond to you. And be sure to comment on what you think of the Apple TV. If you bought one after watching this video, if you already have one, if you got rid of your Apple TV, I'd really like to know and carry on the conversation down below. Also be sure to follow me on the social media platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My username there is AppleCritics, and be sure to subscribe for more great content. And thanks for watching.